We'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
Where'd it go? It's over here.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Madam Clerk.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we ask you to bless our meeting. We thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Approval of agenda.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call.
President Dilbert.
Present.
Trustee Harris.
Here.
Trustee Chandler.
Here.
Trustee Hill.
Present.
Trustee Craig Miles.
Here.
Trustee Prymore.
Here.
Trustee B.
Here.
Attorney Sorty.
Here.
Clerk Mack. And Treasurer Winsett is absent with notice.
Approval of agenda. I have a couple items that we need to deal with tonight. Under President's items, we need to add back the church demolition contract. We didn't think it would be ready to go, but it is ready to go. So we need to add that, and we'll just make that
Item A, trustee position.
under new business. I need to add a property donation. And an office employee. Somewhere on this agenda, we need to, I don't know where we're going to put it. The DPW superintendent has 3 or 4 items that he needs to speak on, that he wants to speak on.
You take out the DPW monthly report, I like consent agenda if you wanted to.
Right.
Put it where?
Do it at the beginning.
I'm sorry.
So you take it out, you generally take it out and just do it after the vote, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before President's Day.
Okay. So we will take the DPW monthly report out of the consent agenda, and we'll do it prior to myself. I think that's all for me.
Do we add the award? What number was the F?
F.
Yeah.
I'd like to, under B, unfinished business, to put the gateway sign. I got the information back today. So,
Any others? Hearing none, motion in order.
move that we approve the agenda with the changes as presented.
Second.
Been properly moved that we approve the agenda with the changes that have been made. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comments on agenda. Hearing none. Approval of minutes from the April
19.
19th. Approval of minutes from the April 19th minutes. Meeting?
Move that we approve the minutes from April 19th as presented.
Support.
Been properly moved and supported that we approve the minutes of April 19th as presented. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consent agenda.
Move that we approve the consent agenda with the movement of the DPW report.
Second.
Been properly moved and supported that we approve the consent agenda minus the DPW report. Any questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee B.
Yes.
Trustee Chandler.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee C. Whitmire.
Yes.
Trustee Prymore.
Yes.
President Dilbert.
Yes. Then Mr. Jones.
Good evening. I just want to make a few announcements. I talked to Julie Kavanaugh earlier this morning, and we are now on board for the RAP program. It's now available to our residents, the Water Residential Assistance Program. I just wanted to let everyone know that our residents whom are seeking help can now gather information from the front office. I have flyers posted on the front office window, as well as handouts to be given if they ask for them. And then there's a number to call and also a website to go to fill out the proper information to see if you qualify for this program. Also, I'd like to let you know that I'm putting together a River Day cleanup, and it's going to be June 11th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are going to meet at the cemetery, and our place that we are going to perform our cleaning is going to be throughout the cemetery streams. It's pretty bad down there. It needs some attention, and that's going to be our focal point this year.
Are you doing that in conjunction with the watershed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is open to,
This is open to anybody who wants to perform. If like students want community service, they can come and participate, as well as just someone who wants to lend a helping hand. Everyone is welcome. We will wade in some water, so be prepared to get dirty, muddy, wet, whatever.
Have we reached out to the school?
Yes. Yeah. Last but not least, spring cleanup is this Friday and Saturday, May 13th and 14th.
What are, offhand, what are some of the things that are not picked up? Tires?
If paint is dried out with kitty litter or dried out, they will pick that up. Any wet paint, no, that will not be picked up. Building materials will be picked up, but if it has a hazard of like a lot of nails, they won't pick it up.
And this will be a New Haven DPW truck that comes and collects it?
No, Waste Management is going to run their normal route Friday, and then they're going to also run Saturday. And they're going to they usually make 2 or 3 runs throughout the village to pick up garbage.
we do encourage the residents to try to get the bulk of your stuff out Friday. So that, you know, as they're making their run, they know that, okay, we gotta come back through this area because there's a lot of stuff here or something. So don't wait till the last minute. And if there's any seniors out there who may have something that they need, a hand in bringing it out to the curb, you know, they can call the office and the DPW will assist them.
Does this include things as big as like furniture, chairs, couches?
Yes.
Anything that's considered a household item, any kind of refrigeration item, the refrigerant has to be removed. And I think the doors are supposed to be taken
Yes,
off.
take it off.
For River Day cleanup, what time do you want people to meet you at the cemetery?
8:30 will be good.
Is there any special equipment you can bring, any special type of gloves?
I will furnish gloves.
Okay. Okay. Just the galoshes will be one.
Yes,
If
yes.
they got
Well, the
some
watershed should be bringing waiters too.
The watershed does, yes, sometimes, but
The Clinton River Watershed
yes,
They gonna bring-
Council?
yes. They'll bring waiters.
Like the waiters.
Okay.
What are waiters? Big rubber pants.
Oh, the ones, yeah.
I'm gonna have to take them fishing. I'll take you.
That's not fish.
Any other questions?
All right.
That it?
That's it. Thank you, appreciate it.
T-shirt this year?
No t-shirts this year because we've always ended up with about 40 extra t-shirts. So.
Oh, okay.
President items. Item A, Main Street Storm Sewer. Earlier this afternoon, I received an email from STE Construction Services letting me know, and I think you all got a copy, that in accordance with the Village of New Haven Ordinance number 305, has accepted the offer to match the lowest bidder on the above referenced project as outlined in the April 6th email from the village engineer, Father Khan. It says, we will furnish a revised bid form as required to reflect the changes in accordance with the village ordinance. The revised form will be submitted within 5 business days. Accordingly, we await the contract award. Respectfully, Frank Richter. So with that being said, it appears that and Ordinance 305 is the one that allows local bidders, local companies, if they're within 10%, if not, to match the lowest bid. So with that being said, it appears that STE Construction, who is a local-based company, has agreed to meet or beat the lowest bid. So it is my recommendation that we award the Main Street Stormwater Construction Project. And, you know, we call it Main Street, and I think that's where it's going to start, but it also entails a number of other areas. Division being one, stonework on the lane. It is my recommendation that we award the Main Street Stormwater Construction bid for SDE Construction Services.
Is that a recommendation or a motion?
That's a recommendation. And I will, if need be, I'll make it an emotion.
Contingent upon
I'm sorry.
contingent upon the changes reflected.
Yes, they will have to submit their revised bid to the engineers, and they will confirm that the numbers are good before we sign a contract.
Discussion now or after the motion?
Once you make the motion.
I'll put it in the form of a motion.
Second for discussion.
The property moved and supported that we award the Main Street Stormwater Construction.
I made the changes to it so that way the motion can be read. You gotta see the numbers and everything there as that, so.
Okay, so we have a resolution in front of us.
The main thing is the amount of the bid, you have to read that out.
The bid amount is $933,914.98.
Yes.
Repeat that again, to make sure we know.
$933,914.98.
Okay.
Second.
It is a proposed resolution, so you should probably read the whole thing. I can have somebody else read it in if you want. I'll be happy to read it.
Read it.
Can we move the last motion?
We're going to read the whole resolution.
So the proposed resolution is a resolution to tentatively award a construction contract for the Division Street paving and drainage improvements, the Main Street drainage improvements, and the Delaney Street paving and drainage improvements. Whereas the Village of New Haven wishes to construct improvements to its existing paving and drainage system, and whereas the storm sewer and drainage improvements projects will be funded through the capital outlay account for the Highway Improvement Fund, account number 204-204-970.000. And whereas the Village of New Haven has sought and received construction bids for the proposed improvements and has received a low bid in the amount of $933,914.98 from Allele Construction, Inc. And whereas STE Construction Services has opted to reduce its bid as submitted to match the bid of the lowest bidder in accordance with ordinance number 305. Whereas the village engineer, Fossil Condon Associates, has recommended awarding the contract to STE in the amount of $933,914.98. Now therefore be it resolved, the Village of New Haven tentatively awards the contract for construction of the proposed paving and drainage improvements project. So you want me to change this to STE?
Yeah.
To STE in the amount of $933,914.98. That's it.
Questions on the motion?
Yeah, not to be too nitpicky, but I mean, project of this magnitude, I just want to know, is anybody here familiar with the history, the longevity of this company? Any positive or negative experiences with this company? You know, kind of do we know them to be, you know, a positive, a company that you want to do business with, and are they capable of a project of this magnitude, this scope? Or is this maybe a bit too much for them to chew? I have no idea, I'm just asking.
I think they can handle it, and because the owner or the principal is here, I'll let him answer that question.
Hello, my name is Paul Academy. Frank Richter, been in the construction industry for 30 plus years. I'm not going to speak on his behalf other than I've been with them for quite some time. I grew up here in New Haven. My family used to own Panama Enterprises. I have over 35 years of experience in highway and underground construction myself. I will be handling the job for Frank. While working with Frank, we build projects like this all the time, and going through the resumes on pre-qualification for the state of Michigan, the highway department, we have to produce substantial amount of information to be qualified with the Department of Transportation, which we are. So I feel, and I think the board knows Frank well, and people here know myself, that a lot of experience within the company. Just between the two of us, 60 plus years.
Paul, give us 3 or 4 recent or current projects that you guys have been involved in.
The elevated parking structure for
Macomb County?
Macomb County, downtown Mount Clemens, try to get the name correct. That project, I believe, is $1.8 million, and it's about 99% complete at this point. We have another project in the city of New Baltimore, approximately $1 million project. I think it's 80 to Yeah, I'd say it's 20 to 30% complete. It's gonna go on through the summer. Project, Selfridge boating access, it was $1.6 million, complicated roadway, parking lot, storm sewer, seawall, and water work. That job is 100% complete. When it comes to my Grimes City, another boating access for the state of Michigan, $1 million project, 100% complete, no issues that I'm aware of. I worked with the engineer in the city a lot over the years as well.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Roll, please.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Pridemore.
Yes.
Trustee Chandler.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee B.
Yes.
Trustee Craigmile.
Yes.
President Gilbert.
Yes. Good luck, gentlemen.
I thought you said like 10% lower than the lowest bidder, right?
I'm sorry. 10% lower.
That's the part you're gonna change, right?
Parks and Rec appointments. Last month I passed out a list of names. Mr. Harrison representing the council, Genevieve Roddick, the Planning Commission, Andrew Osterholm, School Board, Marcus per ordinance, the DPW, and we have 3 private residents that we need to approve. Mr. Mark Wiles, Mr. Lynn Rogan, and Ms. Wendy Collier. And I bring those 3 to you for your approval, so that this Park and Rec Committee can meet next Tuesday.
Can you say them again?
Mark Wiles, Lynn Rogan, Wendy Collier.
I'll make a motion that we appoint the Parks and Recs Committee as presented by President Gilbert.
Second.
It's been properly moved and supported that these 3 private residents be appointed to the Park and Rec Committee. Mark Wiles, Lynn Rogan, Wendy Collier, to work with the ones who are appointed by their individual boards. Any questions on the motion?
Yeah, well, did these individuals express interest, or did we reach out?
No, they expressed interest. Yes. Yeah, I was really reluctant to reach out. I would prefer someone express interest. Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. ZBA appointment. The ZBA has really had a tough time conducting business. Really a tough time. We temporarily appointed Mr. Chandler to try to get a quorum. While he has filled one spot, one of the other spots continues to not show up. So I would like to make one appointment to the ZBA. There's at least 2 items that have been lingering for a better part of 6 months that we need to deal with before we get ourselves in a legal bind. I would like to recommend Mr. George Drake to the ZBA. No.
Because we haven't been able to get a meeting, and this is getting to be really way out there. I'm gonna make a motion that we appoint George Drake to the ZBA as recommended by President Dole.
Support. Questions on the motion? Just to let it be known, we have posted and posted and posted, and we have tried to get people to serve on this board. So, you know, when someone does finally step up, like Mr. Drake has, and he's quite knowledgeable of our zoning ordinances and the sort of appeals that are going to come before that board. So I would hope that we confirm Mr. Drake to this position. Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye.
Right.
Opposed?
I didn't do roll call on that.
So I'm
Roll.
That's what I was waiting for.
Roll, please.
Trustee Chandler.
Yes.
Trustee Pridemore.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Craig Miles.
Yes.
Trustee B.
Yes.
President Gilbert.
Yes.
Great. Finally.
There will be a meeting scheduled as soon as possible.
Awesome, glory.
We need to set a public hearing for our millage rate prior to the June meeting.
You want to do it at that June meeting?
Yes, June meeting, I'm sorry. Prior to the normal start.
6:30.
6:30?
I'm just asking. See if I have it.
And will we deal with the standard millage and the public safety?
Everything.
Do we set the prior millage at that point? It's June, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Right.
June 7th. No.
14.
14.
June 14.
6:30?
Yeah.
Move that we set the public hearing for June 14th at 6:30.
Support.
It's been properly moved and supported that we set a public hearing for our millage rate June 14th at 6:30 p.m.
We include North and Fire.
Millage and fire.
Good, thank you.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Enterprise zone. I sent out an email a few weeks back talking about the enterprise zone. I hope we took the opportunity to take a look at it. It's a process, and it's a process that I'm bringing forward because I think we need to do something to jumpstart construction in this community. We have an excess of 300 developed, buildable lots. No one seems to be building with the exception of the builder in the Weatherlings, who I think in the last couple, 3 years has put up 12 homes. But there's no activity out in Amherst, Pembroke, Decorah. And if you read the information on the enterprise zone, what it does is simply gives a up to 50% tax break on if we designate new construction only. And it's similar to what we would do for an industrial tax break. We can set the amount that we give them the tax break, and we can set the period of time that we would give that homeowner a tax break. And it's my opinion, right now we're getting nothing from nothing. And if this right here somehow encourages builders to start building, And if the savings is properly received by the future homeowner, hopefully this will encourage some builders to start building. If that homeowner knows that he could pay up to 50% less for a certain period of time, it may encourage some activity.
Are we saying that they would get 50% off of their taxes for a specific amount of time, for
Yes.
property taxes?
Yes.
So here's my question for Pembroke, for Amherst, and for Decorah. Part of the issue is the underwriting of the mortgages to build the houses. That's one of the issues, is based on the size of the house. The builder won't build because the underwriter won't write the mortgage for the house itself. So while we'll still be saving, that person would still be saving on their property taxes, is that really the focal point of where we need to drive our economic growth? Or is it some kind of tax break for the builder? Or on that front end? That would be my only concern. Because don't get me wrong, I want to start up growth. But I don't know if that growth, I don't know if where we're pinpointing it is actually really going to be a catalyst to start that.
I don't think there's a mechanism in place for the actual builder.
You can do it for the builder while they're the owner of the lot.
While they're on the, yeah.
But that sometimes has a reverse effect.
I think this might be best tabled because honestly, I think we could do this, we could do a combination of ideas I've expressed some of you in email. But, I mean, we could like waive some licensing or you know, the fees associated with certain permits or something like that. We could just write up an ordinance or something to that effect.
When it comes to fees and license, you know, those are minimal.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of.
Yeah, but there's this right here, in my opinion, is no money out of our pocket per se. Whereas fees and license could, because we still have to pay our inspectors. Okay, so that could be money out of our pocket. You know, I'm open to anything,
Yeah.
you know, just trying to
No, I'm
jumpstart.
glad that you're bringing it to the table because it's definitely a discussion we need to have. And we can certainly use it in conjunction with something else.
You know,
I'm not saying that, I want to make sure our efforts are,
right.
you know, actually attracting.
The one thing that we can do for the builder that I know has been done in the past is that we've granted water and sewer taps to the builder. I think the guy that who currently owns Weatherbane, I think he doesn't pay water and sewer taps. The original developer, help me understand.
Yeah, what happened,
When they put the road in?
when they put the road in, well, actually, they paid for so many taps and up front.
Okay.
They had an upfront cost. And then when they sold these, they sold some of those off and we gave certificates for them. So they were actually paid for by another developer, but they transfer them on the.
What is the typical water and sewer tap? What is that?
About 12, well, like 19, it's like 1900? Yes, 1900.
For water and sewer, is that
This is
total?
combined.
Okay, so
That's like $1,900 off the top.
off the top,
That would have to.
that you know, may or may not help.
But it's not.
What's the basis for you believing that the underwriters won't?
Yeah, only two companies own properties in Pembroke and Amherst. Amherst was sold off to a company called Michigan Properties LCC or something. And then Lombardo owns Pembroke and Decorah. Has anybody reached out to them to find out why they're building in Laurel?
They're building Deerfield, they're gonna finish Deerfield. Once Deerfield's completed, that's when they were gonna start moving north. But the problem is they're sitting on properties because of that they can't get the mortgages for, which is that we have specs for in those. Now, it might be different for Amherst, but I know, I sit on the
So
board.
unless the property values go up, or they could underwrite the mortgage, then the builder's not gonna come in.
That may still be a draw point to the village.
Rate of
Just a
interest
certain
would
distance.
be a different scope.
That may be something that, well, you know, we don't get into the mortgage end of it. And this doesn't have to be restricted just to those, you know, this is new construction. We can restrict this to new construction, so it doesn't necessarily have to be confined to just those areas, which we would like to see those areas. Because the one thing that one area that we need to improve on is our number of residents and our tax base. You know, and that's how we're gonna finally get it to be able to stay above water.
I think we should have a workshop on this, quite honestly. There's a lot of ideas that could be combined, and I think we should.
I'm open to that.
I think our prominent builders in the village should be at that.
I was just gonna say, we should invite them to be present.
We can invite them, absolutely. I'm good with that.
And actually, maybe a couple mortgage companies, and maybe somebody representing Fannie Mae, so that we can talk to them too.
Sure. Okay, then we will schedule a workshop on this issue. Moving on. Church demolition. We had went out for bids for the demolition of the Division Street Church. We had, I forget how many bidders.
Something like this.
Seven bidders
Yes.
with a really strange range. Okay, I don't know what the 95,000 was gonna get us.
95,000?
But the low bidder, what we got again here? The original low bidder did not include the asbestos abatement. And when he put that in, he was no longer the low bidder. The low bidder for the Division Street church removal is STE Construction at a bid amount of $15,800. And it is my recommendation that we award this contract to STE Construction. And it is also the opinion of the engineers.
I make a motion that we award, is this motion in order?
Yes.
Make a motion that we award the demolition project for 30849 Division Street to STE Construction Services at a price point not to exceed $15,800.
Yep.
Second.
Did I hear support on that?
Yes, second.
Been properly moved and supported that STE Construction be awarded the bid for the demolition of the Division Street Church. Any questions on the motion?
This is the same company that's going to be doing the Main Street sewer?
Yes. Which in some way, I'll just say this as my own opinion, in some way it's almost good because those two projects need to be coordinated. Because part of the work that for that sewer is going to be on Division. So
And
this,
there were no other local bidders that put in for the
No.
demolition services?
and they were the actual low bidder. Any other questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Pridemore.
Yes.
Trustee Chandler.
Yes.
Trustee B.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Craig Miles.
Yes.
President Dillon.
Yes. Payment of bills.
I move that we pay the bills in the amount of $136,866.75.
Second.
Been properly moved and supported that we pay the bills in the amount of $136,866.75. Any questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Trustee Chandler.
Yes.
Trustee Pridemore.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Frank Miles.
Yes.
Trustee B.
Yes.
President Dilbert.
Yes. The clerk has an item in there. Agenda items are requested by June 7th. The treasurer is out having fun. I hope.
She's on a business trip.
Oh, God, have fun.
She's not every time.
Gotta mix in some fun with it. So we all received the treasury report, so
Yeah, total village assets as of April 16th were $3,280,879.47.
thank you. Unfinished business.
Should we still make a motion to accept?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, good.
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Second.
Been probably moved and supported. Any question on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Unfinished business. Accountant position.
Yeah, I just wondered if we had a time frame when we would be offering the position to one of the applicants. Setting up interviews to see qualifications.
We're still trying to get everything else caught up. We're still working, we're getting there to, I think our accountants, our auditors are getting really close in completing those, the bank recs and everything is still getting caught up. Boy, pinpointing the time frame,
These people put in applications months ago.
I know,
They're gonna think there's no interest.
yeah.
And, yeah, and this has been ongoing for 8 months.
Oh, it's,
At some point, either we're gonna hire an accountant or we're not. So I think this has taken a long enough amount of time for us to be able to figure out, become an accountant, part-time or full-time, interview somebody to see what the qualifications are. I don't think that it should be dependent on everything being caught up. I mean, hypothetically, this could be stretched for another year.
it's, we definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's an unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. We're doing 2 years of audits and about 2 years of bank recs.
And an accountant and an accountant would not be involved in that process.
Learning the way around, I honestly don't know. I'm not an accountant. I don't know how this all works, Do you want too many fingers in the pot at one time, or do you want to just turn it over to an accountant and see if they can, have we come to a conclusion as to what kind of hours we're talking about? Are we talking about a part-timer? 1 day a week? Are we talking about a full-timer?
At the Ways and Means Committee, we talked about a part-timer capping it at 24 hours a week with the possibility of a full-time position available if, the job comes to that. Talked about, I forwarded copies of comparable wages from the MML website. Wages range anywhere from $18.50 an hour to $22.50 an hour on an hourly basis. Salaried full-time was coming in at 25 to 32. But, I think, yeah.
That low?
That low.
For an accountant?
Well, they didn't have that many communities that filed the information
We're
online.
talking about CPA.
No, just-
Yeah, County position.
I am open to, if the Ways and Means wants to set up interviews, but I would emphasize that we start out on a part-time basis.
Well, that's what trustee Harris and I discussed about our time position.
Because there's another position in the office that we need to fill, and we're trying to get these because of, we were down to 2, and we have a temp in place, and the temp is really working out super well. That's later on the agenda. But, so we need to really give some serious thought as to how we want to structure the office, the job responsibilities, the whole picture. So, but yes, I would definitely be open to the Ways and Means. Matter of fact, I would suggest that the Ways and Means, if they want to set up some interviews, and but let's keep it to a part-time position, at least starting, which could evolve into full-time. Is the Ways and Means Committee good with that?
Yeah, we can, I don't wanna put you on the spot, Deborah. We can get a meeting in.
But I like my number with the, I think we have somebody that's with us over there.
Someone what?
So I left my contact number with that person. I'm gonna leave it with you, because I got, I had some problems getting back into town that week, so, but we can do it next week. This week or next week, I'm gonna do it. But the week after that, I'm not gonna be here.
We got a couple of issues that need to be dealt with, and this is one of them. So if you're available, then let's do it as soon as possible. And if you're not available, then we will appoint somebody temporarily to fill in for you.
If that's the case, we'll talk after and then get a date and time.
Okay.
Item B, the gateway sign.
Oh. You guys wanted to look at the sign that was chosen, and what we did here, he put together a form of how you guys wanted to see it 2 ways. So the first one is just a one sign, and then the page 3, 4 is 4 and 5 is the sign 2 ways around, and then and then I gave you he sent us the pricing over today. If you went, well, he gave you the pricing on the first one, on that, it was 20,000, and this one here is, this is the way it is vertical, with the 2 signs. So basically, the price just doubled. Because actually what it is 2 signs.
One thing that I accept, Mr. Harris and I talk quite often, and this is one of the things that kept flipping my mind. How this sign would look, how a single sign would look, let's say, facing the Comey.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Toward the,
Based on that, you cost.
This is the way it is on here now, is that angle. If you turn it, you're facing the corner, you can see it from the other one.
right, exactly. Freeway coming off on Gratiot.
Right, this is 2-sided sign, this way. But
So we could take, so we could take the one sign, and it's all about how we would position it.
I think a single sign facing the Coney Island would be fine. Maybe
The
even
question
bigger.
is, why do we have a welcome sign in the middle of town?
Why don't we?
Why do we have a welcome sign in the middle of town?
That's,
Well, I mean, it's just a question, here's 26.
middle of town is down there.
This is like, you know what I'm saying? Usually most cities have welcome signs at the borders.
They do have it.
Yeah, but
We got those posted signs at the border.
yeah.
So you're saying that the actual border is,
Well, no, 26 miles.
26 is, yeah, the actual
And then
border.
but now this is Main Street, which is kind of, the middle of the Gratiot corridor.
Well, if you're coming in up 26 down here by McDonald's, there is one.
Right, and this is a welcome sign is going to
I think the traffic flow justifies it.
Yeah.
okay. Just wondered.
I'm not sure if this was really meant for discussion at this point, or if we're just focusing on the sign, but I know the planning commission met and took ideas for some things to the statute. I was just wondering if there's been any thought of moving it just seems weird that you got a sign pretty close to the intersection, which I think is a great location for it, but then the position of the statue itself is way far away.
We're not talking about the statue
Yeah,
anymore.
we're not talking about statutes.
No,
Yeah.
they're-
You weren't here, Dan, at the last meeting, but.
What's on the picture, I think that's what.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Just a
It's
little.
up here. That's what
I see it,
they're-
yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was on there. Well, it was on the first one because he did it off the same map.
So we're not gonna talk about the statute because it's gonna be one item at a time.
Yeah, this is the same one. This is the same. And planning did recommend, I'm sorry, I forgot to give you all that. Planning did recommend we went with the.
Right, yeah, and understand it's a work in progress. This is the palette, and then based upon the
See where this
recommendations,
one? That's one side.
certain things we have,
Because it's a
it's
two-sided
not
sign.
goes on. And I appreciate your,
This, okay, you're saying just the one?
Yeah.
Just turn it up. Yeah, we can do it any way you want.
Right.
But I just wanted to show some different views that,
Right.
but we
What kind of
can,
turnaround time?
if you just do it just to one side, then you could do it that.
That's what I'm thinking. Because you got a stop sign. It's got a stop sign.
Stop light.
So we're going to be able to capture impressions when people are stopped at that stop sign, but then you're also going to be able to capture impressions from people coming northbound, or coming from southbound, going northbound, trip Gratiot, and then both on New Haven Road will capture that sign.
Yeah, one of the other suggestions from one of the planning commission was that we raise it a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Get it over that guardrail.
Yeah, with a guard, that's what it was, a guardrail out there and then raise it a little bit more. So you can do that by platform and then once you landscape it around it, you can do
Yeah.
that.
Who,
That would be something that we
or not
would
who,
do.
but from a scale perspective, have we just kind of went out there on our own and kind of measured what that would look like? I mean, I know they kind of tried to put it in this picture, but it kind of, I just want to make sure like we're not putting a tiny sign in the midst of a giant
Yeah,
area.
he didn't do it with a scale. He went out with his wheel, measured off.
Does he have it marked currently? Or did he just measure it up?
No, I don't think you put a marker. I don't think you left a marker out here. So
Just overall.
when you do it, you center it out there anyway. I mean, they're the sign company. They're not gonna look at, okay.
This is 15 feet wide overall.
The sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it sounds like a lot. Grand scheme of a giant area, 15 feet all of a sudden.
And are there any restrictions from
Well,
MDOT
they probably, the restrictions from MDOT, and there are some restrictions from
as far as
where
setback?
we have to be 25 off on each side of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they call it clear path. It has to be a clear, we have that. I mean, we have all the MDOT material that MDOT has given us, or the planner has.
What's the,
And there's other things that add to that intersection will be proportional, because you don't want the big sign.
are there any other questions that we can direct to Mr. Harris? Are there any other questions that we need to direct to Mr. Harris?
And this price is good until,
He had it on that.
And are we prepared to act on this, or is there some more discussion need to be? Are we,
What are we,
You're gonna table everything, we'll never get that.
if would we be able to get an idea of other things that might be placed at that intersection eventually, so that we would know this thing is proportional, or
You do what?
if does the planning commission?
Later. But first, yeah, you're right, you know, I understand the question, but first we wanted to get a basic structure. And then from the basic structure, visualize like you're laying, putting layers on it. The first thing, we needed to get you guys to agree to a structure of the, which is gonna be the center, the focal point, the Village of New Haven sign, however it's built. So that is the priority, is to get something in place there, and then based upon that survey, and we're gonna do a much more extensive survey, because what was good about that one is that it identified areas of interest for us, even though it was certainly not a scientific or, you know, something that represents the entire village. It gave us a structure and some ideas to begin with. So if we could get you guys to agree, we recommended the one that's presented to
And the
you.
size is good for the
Yes.
planning commission?
Yes. And then everything will, based upon the other ideas that are submitted, the ones that fit will be added on. So she
oh, let
said,
us not forget that we don't own this property. We have use, and we need to get that in writing.
It's already in writing. I mean, it's just, what we have right now is an agreement from MDOT on the portion when they put the bike path in,
Yes.
that we will maintain.
Okay.
Now, by putting it, when we get ready to put the sign up there, we still have to go back to MDOT and fill a permit out to put this sign in. We could have did that, but according to the engineers, that not to do it until we actually purchase a sign, and because that permit is only good for so many days.
If we purchase a sign and they say no, what is?
No, we already got the okay to do it. They have to go on some online or something to put the permit in to work in the MDOT right away. And that permit is only good for so long.
From an insurance standpoint, is there an additional rider that we need to carry? Mr. Torrey?
No, we probably just had it. I don't even know what we get.
No, you're fine.
Okay. You know, I mean, in case someone in a car hits this sign and is injured, and now they looking at, you know.
We have to cast the gun.
We want them to pay us.
Yes. You know how that works.
The answer to that would be, it's gonna be in an area, it's MDOT on property that's in an area that's controlled, we maintain, people within the requirements of MDOT, so liabilities.
So no matter what improvements, I'm sorry to ask so many questions.
So please do.
No matter what improvements we put on that property, we will not run ground underneath the improvements.
You want what?
Let's say we put up benches, trees, whatever. We don't own the property under it,
No,
right?
we just have to go to MDOT. Anytime you want to do something out there, you have to go to MDOT and fill that permit out.
Because later on down the road, they're not going to come back and say, hey, get it off, it's our property.
No, they'll let us know what you can and cannot do.
Okay.
so do it
And,
at one
and
time.
there are no future plans considering that the
Yeah,
intersection.
even if they were going to widen, and that's why we have to stay within the 25 foot on both sides. Even if they were widen and grass it out, we would be out of the right of way.
So, based on the decision that's made, everything that's gonna be done from this point forward It's gonna be done all at one time, right?
Probably not all of them, I know.
You're not,
No.
you're
How many steps
you're
and
not gonna develop a full plan?
We're talking about a sign right now.
No, we're just talking about the
Right,
sign.
it's all coming. And Mr. Chairman, there's one other area, should I wait till call from the floor, should I deal with it now? It's related to the.
Is it talking about the sign?
It's about the project, yeah. What came up at the meeting was the architectural drawing that everybody's talking about, and who would pay for it, because Jeff said
They don't have anybody.
they didn't have it.
Yeah, the county doesn't have anyone that does it, so
They
So
don't.
we need
in
to,
order to do it.
Eventually, that's what we would like, is a rendering of the
Yes,
property
absolutely.
so that we can see where we're gonna plant a tree or a bench or a
Exactly.
gazebo
So
or whatever.
we can go ahead and talk on Tuesday, on our Tuesday nights. It's gonna be paid, we don't have to worry about where the money's coming from, that's what.
That's exactly what it's for.
Okay,
Okay, so we can bring it back to you whenever
Yes.
the cost, okay.
That's all I want to know, thank you.
what's the pleasure of this board?
Make a motion that we table approval of the funding for the Gateway project.
Second.
Been properly moved and supported that we table this item, the funding for the Gateway project,
Thank you.
Until the next regular meeting.
until the next regular meeting. Any questions on the motion?
Yeah, question. What's the reasoning for it?
That
Table.
sign looks awfully dinky, and two signs as opposed to one, I think is, I don't know, I don't know what was discussed last month.
You should come to the meetings. you
Yeah,
Oh.
that's why I suggested that it not be, the
Excuse me.
date for the
Excuse me.
meeting be changed.
Excuse me.
And I said that I couldn't make that. And I take great, it's a lot of time and effort for me to get certain days off.
Mr. Van der Kerkhoff, talk about the
So
sign,
it gets
please.
changed at the last minute, I don't appreciate it. either.
Talk about the sign, please. I didn't hear your statement.
Well, I'm gonna be voting no, but,
No.
I don't, it's very concerning to me, to say the least, what it appears here. If this is drawn to scale, and even if it's not 15 feet, I can envision 15 feet, and it's concerning to me that it's going to look very small in such a large area.
Then change the sign ordinance. We have to abide by the sign ordinance.
Well, then maybe we should do that, we should table this until we get that.
Okay.
Just
Any
one
other
comment
questions?
on that. I don't know if you was aware of it, but it does light up. Where it says New Haven, it does light up. So,
It wasn't his idea, don't worry.
so you will be able to see, the location where you at. So, I don't know how wide, I'm with you, I don't know how wide that space is, right there, because the scale doesn't say that, like you said. But, it depends on how far back it is from the curb as
And
well. So,
15 feet is,
pretty big.
twice me plus some.
So you look at,
My question
get
is,
an idea, you take like those 4x8 boards, that's 2.5 of
I mean, I'm not necessarily so worried about the specs anymore, because, 8.5 feet high is gonna be like where that,
The light is.
no, that hook is.
Okay.
So that's gonna be 8.5 feet, and then 15 feet is probably gonna be to that corner. So that's not too bad. My question though is, if we do vote on it tonight, if this motion passes, then never mind, but, if we were to vote, who takes care of the small details, like the way we're gonna turn it, or how we're gonna put it on some sort of pedestal? Are we gonna need to put that all in a motion? Or does that go back to planning? You guys work out some details on
We can do it, but it's just, the simple thing is, we tell the sign company how we want it laid out.
Yeah, but is that gonna cost extra money to elevate it?
Well, we're talking about a small berm or just, maybe don't put the.
It comes on a foundation, but I don't know, where you want it,
I don't know.
extra, what?
So, okay, so if it comes on a foundation, do you have to put that foundation under the permafrost so that it doesn't buckle? Or do you have to?
I'm sure they want down below the frost line.
Right, does it go below the
Yeah,
frost line?
42 inches.
Right, so that's your foundation, but then if we want to elevate it, are you putting that through a berm? I mean, these are my questions, you know? So, I mean, there's small details. I don't care, we don't have to vote on the small details tonight. I just wanna know who's gonna take care of the small details. You know, and then, like I said, the sign currently on the schematics that we have in front of us are either this way or this way, where I'm saying, put it this way. And if that pleases the board, you know, you're gonna get far more impressions if you put it that way. So who's gonna turn it? You know, who's gonna put in the requirement?
I think Fossil comes from that.
I think the final say on this sign, the elevation and the direction, because we're funding it, should sit with this board right here.
Okay. So what I would suggest a cap on something if we decided to go forward with extra changes and then bring it back one next time, so.
Well, we
It's,
have a
but
motion.
it's in
There's a motion on
conjunction,
the
it's
table
in
right now.
conjunction with the table, that if you table it, come back with the other changes. So that we're done and we're set to go, how we're gonna elevate it, how we're gonna turn it, we
That's
want
fine.
the final product.
Where do you go?
He went out with, Mr. What did he?
They have,
He left you?
don't they have access to,
Wires up.
yeah, talk to Paul, city itself.
No, they hire out. You don't have anybody on
So they got
staff.
somebody they probably recommend to us?
Sure.
Yeah, Fossil.
Quick question before we vote, I guess. Is so this is what it's going to look like though?
The raised platform.
The green line, the red line, I know this lights up.
That lights up in the, what's called lights.
The new Hazen one?
Yeah.
The welcome's gonna be red.
No, red. Where do you read?
Oh, the welcome on the side.
The welcome on the side.
It's almost.
Yeah, I don't think that lights up.
I think it's a wood grain.
The
Oh, it's
lights up
wood
is a piece, is the longer, where it says New Haven,
That lights.
that lights up.
And the welcome.
That
part
red
was-
triangle's gonna be the like, well, whatever shape it is.
It appears that the village logo has,
It has LED luminous.
LED and
Yeah,
the,
both sentences.
Both of them have LED.
yeah, exactly.
Motion to table.
Any other questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Trustee Harris,
No.
trustee Pridemore,
Yes.
trustee Chandler,
I think I want to clarify it, so no, and then I'll make a motion after.
trustee B,
Yes.
trustee Hill,
No.
trustee Craig Miles,
No.
President Dilbert.
No.
Motion failed.
What's the pleasure?
So I would move to approve the sign with, to be brought back at the next meeting and set at a cap with the other extras that we've talked about tonight. I don't know how to say that, but,
An elevation
right, we want the elevation, we want the exact sign
in the
placement, like where it'll be placed. Then maybe contingent on the final approval then.
Yes,
But
okay.
I would like to be able to send trustee Harris back with, you know, we're doing it, but we want to make sure that we're all on the same page as to how we want it set and how we want it elevated. And if we could just get a better rendering of what it'll look like to scale out there. I don't know if that's going to be a lot of work for you, and if it is, don't worry about it, but I would at least like to see that in a bit of a better proportion with the sign kind of facing the way we're thinking.
We're gonna get it
And
on.
that's facing toward, Colony, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And we will get we will get an artist rendering of that.
That's the way it has been agreed that we're doing the way direction, single sign facing Coney.
Yeah.
Single line facing color.
I didn't realize that we confirmed.
That's what I'm gonna.
That's what I'm making my motion
That's what the
contingent
motion
on.
was.
Get rid of the.
Because I mean, you know, we can afford the one side. It'd be hard to criticize that. The attorney can afford to.
I agree with it. I mean, that would,
I
that
got it.
welcome thing that I think was funky here, I imagine, because you're only gonna have one, you don't get to do a double-sided thing, but I'd still like to see it before I say yes, so.
So,
So we're gonna table it.
make your motion, Mr. Chandler.
did, I support it.
I don't even know what I said.
Do
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you want.
construction of the sign contingent on the new rendering.
Yes, yes.
To be brought back at the next meeting.
It to be brought back.
So we're changing.
Right, we are.
We approved the signage.
We're approving him to come back with a rendering with the sign in the corner
Oh, that's what it is.
with a slight elevation.
That's what- whatever.
Can I ask for exact wording? I know it sucks, but I need exact wording. I want to table
I
it.
gave you my exact wording. I said we're gonna do it, we're gonna table it. But we're giving this, we're approving the sign with contingent on the new rendering coming back next month. With a cap set at 24,000?
No,
Single sign's half of it.
No, I think the sign was 20,000.
20,
The double sign was 44.
20,000.
So with the new elevation and any other contingent, like that we have to do, and before we're at other.
And then new elevation, I mean, turning the sign shouldn't cost us.
Correct, but we don't know what that elevation is.
Yeah. Any other question on the motion?
Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, I just noticed something about finance agreement. Anybody notice that? On the second page of the contract.
Hey, I don't think we're gonna finance it though.
I'm just saying, I'm just pointing it out.
Oh, no, that was, it was gonna go for that 44,000.
No.
We're not doing that, that was for that double sided sign.
That's for
So
the
we-
double
we-
sign.
Right,
Okay,
we're
thank
not even doing the double sided
So
sign.
we're not gonna finance it.
So that's, okay, thank you for clarifying, because I saw that there, I was wondering.
Any other questions on the motion? Roll, please.
Trustee Chandler,
Yes.
trustee Pridemore,
Yes.
trustee Hill,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Craig Miles, trustee V,
No.
President Dilbert.
Yes. New business. I put before you a GIS map showing 4 parcels of property, and these are parcels that we had tried to attain once before because they're useless, they're not much more than well, the ones on Cart Street are pretty much the shoulder of the road, but they are parcels that come up every 3 years on our tax auction. The current buyer in the 4th parcel is the corner of the small park across from Haven Place. Right there where the sidewalk and the come together. And we currently maintain it. Well, the current owner, who bought them at the last auction because you gotta buy it all, they're looking to donate these to the village, which in effect would take them off the tax rolls.
Is this the one on the point,
Yep.
This the Baltimore piece there?
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And there's 3 on Clark Street. That I think for the most part, we currently cut them. I mean, we don't cut them? Okay, so the residents do because they're private, okay. Or the residents are supposed to? Yes. Okay. And is that part of the ditch area where we put the culverts?
Yes.
Okay. So, there's a process that we got to go through. And I'm just seeking your opinion, and if you want to take ownership of these parcels and
Just out of curiosity, these ones here, these 3, is there a way to give them or put them in a offer to the residents to make their lots whole?
no, because it would be on the other side of the sidewalk. In the right of way.
So there's a sidewalk in between their property and.
Yeah.
This is the subdivision, right?
On Clark Street.
I think the village owns those.
Not according to the woman who called me. They keep coming up on auction.
They keep coming up at our
I-
meetings too. You,
I'm almost sure we purchased them because, just to put that sidewalk in.
Yeah,
Well, if we did, then the county owes them.
And it's probably, I can tell you, the paperwork probably just never got done. I mean, completed.
Okay.
And I can tell you just on this Bartero piece, they donated that to us before, and they never signed the affidavit.
The woman died.
But the guy died, and the
Sister.
So the question is,
and lived in Baltimore. And
Right.
and
do you want me to complete this whole process?
yeah, I don't think it was.
No, the county would owe them money.
I'm almost sure we purchased them.
That's how we
What are we gonna
Yeah,
do?
In order to put the sidewalk.
You already-
Free?
Okay. The corner across from Haven Place,
Yes.
how big is that triangle?
Marcus, how big is that triangle across from Hayden Place?
Not big at all, a couple of swipes with the motor.
Yeah, it's,
It's not like big enough for a pocket garden?
Yes, it is.
If you want, yeah, pocket garden, but.
Well, but if we,
And we've been down that road in there.
it's a community enhancement, if it's big enough.
We tried that before.
He sure did. He had a diagram and everything.
because that's on one side of the sidewalk. It's got
maybe the
the-
new Parks and Rec committee can take care of it.
So that's on
That's a
the,
good spot for him to do
Well, the lazy side.
yeah, it's up to the lake property.
If it's big enough, I don't know how big it is though.
It shows 44, it shows 44 on one side and 48 on the other.
Well, that's certainly big enough for a community enhancement.
Well, the question remains, do you want me to,
Yes.
Yes.
okay, please,
Vote.
yeah, no. And we will clarify those strips to see if we're already on. Okay, then I will,
Make a motion to acquire the property as indicated on the map? Is that what-
yeah, that's simple enough. Been properly moved and supported that
Acquire the property indicated on the map.
we go after these properties, that we go through the process of obtaining these properties. Any question on the motion?
I just have one comment that whenever you have a donation of property to a municipality, that we should go through a process not undifferent from purchasing the property, to make sure that there's no liabilities with those properties or anything else. And we can go through, I'll go through some of that with you, but just to be clear about that, I've seen too many situations where you try to pick up a little parcel like this, and there's some sort of restriction, deed restriction, and it's something that creates more problems than it's worth to get the parcel.
Yeah. Wait, you're gonna be involved.
Okay.
So is the motion contingent on our attorneys?
On clear title of the property.
Clear title, yeah.
That's something.
Any other question on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Office employee. A month ago, approximately a month ago, I'm not sure how long ago it's been now. I brought in a temp to help out in the office. The temp, fortunately, was one of the applicants for the accountant position. She has taken to the operation of the office like a sponge. She has really done a good job. She has embraced the water department. She has, she's learning the billing system, the payroll system, all the functions and factions of it. She's energetic. When you call the office and she answers the phone, you get the feeling that you're calling someplace that that is being conducted in a professional manner. I definitely consider her an asset. And I know it's not the normal process that we would go. We would advertise and go through and try to pick out the perfect person, but I truly believe that we already have the perfect person to fill the vacancy in the office. And this is not to include or exclude the accountant position, but the position that was vacated with the former employee, and currently we have one employee who's on long-term medical. And I would like to recommend that we take Ms. Simpson and we take her from a temp to a permanent full-time employee, but she would go through the probationary period like anyone else. But let's turn her loose and let her continue doing the good things that she's been doing.
Discussion?
Please.
Do we have any ordinances that otherwise require us to post or anything like that?
Are we bound by any civil service employment rules?
Is this employee's wage that she's getting paid right now, is that going to be the wage that you proposed?
Yes.
And I assume it's comparable to the other staff?
Yes.
It's established by contract, right?
It's established by contract.
Is there anything that is a disadvantage to posting the position though?
Well,
Because she's still in that position currently.
mhm.
And obviously her experience in that position would be taken into account in the interview process, but I mean, I've had experience on this group before. Is there anything that would be a disadvantage to us still just posting for 30 days or, I mean, we can set the time to post. It's not something they have to put in the paper or anything like that, but we could post for a certain amount of time. We're not bound, right, by a certain amount of days. So we could post it for 7 days if we want to. I mean, it doesn't matter. But I still think, much like Attorney Asori said, when we purchase a property, we should follow, if we get it donated, we should follow a protocol. I still think that could probably apply in this realm as well. That we still follow a protocol.
And the perception among the residents is
Right.
they're handing a job to somebody that they know without affording an opportunity to other people to apply. So I think we have to be sensitive to that.
I'm good with that.
You know, post on the internet.
Now, my next question is, what happens when our other employee comes back from long-term?
Wait a minute. Listen, we're missing two people right now.
Yeah.
Angela's gone, and she's not coming back.
Correct.
Okay, so that is fine. And
There's a vacancy already.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a vacancy.
And her duties are just going to be general office duties, like it's going to be the same as any other office staff member?
This particular person,
Yeah.
right now, she's working in everything. But what we really need, excuse me, is for someone to embrace the water department.
Were we ever planning on filling Angela's position though? I thought that was one thing we were gonna just do away with that.
Well, we were trying to disperse those responsibilities among the three.
Right.
And now with the long-term medical, that experience went out the door.
So she's the backup to the, if she comes back, then we're still kind of at full staff that we were when we
Yes.
had Angela there.
Yes.
No, not when you had Angela, you still want short.
Well, no,
No, I'm saying if she was to come back,
Oh, yeah.
then we're back to the same
Right,
staff.
right.
then we're back to full force. But right now, someone in, this young lady has embraced the water department and suffered a hiccup temporarily. It didn't take her long to get up to speed and communicate with BSNA and learn the system and communicate with the DPW. And there's a lot of things that are happening that hadn't been taking place the last few months that she has really hit the ground running.
With this,
But I'm good with what you suggested that we, yes,
With this-
sometimes perception.
I think it's wonderful that we have someone to step up to the plate and help us out in a crunch. And you know, certainly the opportunities there for us to apply through regular channels, but the perception is that we need to post it.
So for
It
clarification,
is represented, sir, go ahead.
you don't have to post it. For clarification, you don't have to post it. Because my thing is, you have a person that's doing a job and doing a great job. What's the point?
And I honestly don't know if not posting it is a violation of anything. But I certainly would like to, I don't have a problem with posting it, but I do want to clarify that I know we're going to go through the process and we're going to post it, and I hope this young lady is given a fair shot at the job, because like I said, I can't afford too many more hiccups.
And then this position, this isn't a newly created position, this is a position that she would step into that's already in a holding pattern based on
Yes.
current, and it's a representative position,
Mhm.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
All right.
What's going to be our posting format? Our posting,
What do we normally
I would
do?
just recommend the internet and just put some up on the front door or something. That's it.
We've had to
Post it on the bulletin board there.
we post on this.
That's a lot of applicants.
Yes.
Isn't it kind of expensive, isn't it, like $1,000?
You want to keep your pool
Yeah.
down.
Honestly,
So it's something we have to pay for?
We want to keep it
Can we just put it in the local bit?
Just
Yeah.
put it on the internet and post it on the,
Put it on the
Oh,
website.
We can post it here.
and post it on the bulletin.
Put it on the
word
website.
out.
Yeah.
Perknet, what did we get,
Yeah.
what did we do the last time, Perknet, when we posted a position?
We put it on,
The bulletin board,
we
right?
put it also on, the website.
Website.
Yeah, there's a job opportunity.
Right.
So we'll pick a reasonable time
Like
frame.
use that one.
And that's what full-time.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and then
Yes.
that will be for a full-time spot, right?
Yeah. for that.
I'll tell you that. But you've got a chance here. I'll tell you.
Okay. Call from the floor.
As soon as you said that, you can move.
Good meeting tonight. Thank you for the work that you did. First thing I want to do is thank you for approval of the gateway, even though there are questions. I mean, and understand that's going to happen as we move this thing forward. And that one question, just point of clarification. I know Brett is clear on where the sign is supposed to be. I just want to make sure that that architectural drawing that you want to see, we can just let Jeff find someone who can do this. We don't have to worry about the money, right?
We always got to worry about money.
But you got our back, right?
I don't
Yeah.
want any
I
checks.
thought they said
Huh?
that, Jeff said they didn't have anyone that could do it?
Pardon me?
Not at the county level.
Not the government.
The county-
Right, we said the
Yeah.
county. But we didn't know who we even was supposed to pay for it last
You checked
Tuesday.
the FOSTA account?
No, I have not.
We're gonna, if it's been Jeff or Fowler, somebody has
Absolutely.
a connection, so.
We will assign that to Jeff, to, as our planner, to just address it with someone and bring it back to us.
Well, let's check with Father, see if he has somebody
You probably have somebody.
Okay.
that, I know they do them all the time in the office, but I think they go out to do it, but he may have somebody right off the bat that he could tell us who to go lead us to.
I'm sure that you're learning to read my eyes.
I'm also glad and very excited about the Parks and Rec Committee being finally put together. I don't know if any of you get out of your houses in the evening. You should drive around the village and look at all of the fields behind every school that we have. Everything that's open is full of kids. And there's activity going on. I was talking to Mike Wilder, and he told me that they had over 350 kids out and around in athletics, and it looks good, and it's stuff for the Parks and Recreation Committee to take advantage of. So that was cool. And then finally, I just hope we don't lose Vonda in terms of the Secretary for Minutes. We had someone on the Planning Commission that was taking minutes, and she's taken on another responsibility, and that was just too much for her. So Vonda showed up, and while I have not seen the finished minutes, I love her enthusiasm. She's into what the Planning Commission is doing, asking questions, and that's an unusual feeling. Finally, last Tuesday, I want to thank you, Mr. Van Kerkhoff and Mr. Chandler, for emailing your suggestions to us, and we will take those into consideration. And we're still working. This is, like I said, an ongoing process. So if you can't make it to the meetings, drop us a line. Your input is greatly appreciated. Thanks.
Thank you. Barb? Ladies before gentlemen.
Jump past tonight. I'm Barbara from Rosella Florist on Main Street here in New Haven. And this will be the 7th year of the Rosella event. And that'll be Saturday, August 13th. And I could use the help from the DPW to block off Main Street for me. That's okay with everybody. And I want the president and the council to know that I do not ask for any financial help from anyone, that I put this event on all by myself, financially. And I'm here to ask for your blessing for me to continue doing this.
You got it.
Thank you very much.
August 13th?
August 13th.
From?
10 to 6.
10 to 6.
Chris, while you're writing, just so you're aware, the Macomb County Sheriff and the Macomb County Road Commission, we have to notify them that the roads are being cut off. The Road Commission says 2 months in advance. The sheriff, we got to
Send them an email.
Did I just shoot?
No, I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking, could you stick around after?
Sure.
Look forward to it.
So I got your blessing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We will take care of what we need to take care of on our end.
Thanks.
And I'm sure the DPW will be there bright and early. And if not, you got my home number. This is great.
Yeah, just briefly, I was a little disappointed in how you dealt with the temporary person that's in the office, because, a lot of people do a lot of temps now everywhere, and when they find a good one, man, they keep them. Because, while you're around, you could lose her, because if she's that good, she'll be in demand. So I think it's a mistake to take a chance on blowing her morale by telling her that, we're going to go out and see if we can find somebody else for your position. If not, we'll hire you. But so I don't know whether it's to be politically correct or what, but it will be a blow to her morale to do that. Trust me. So maybe you want to reconsider it, but trying to be politically correct is not always the best decision. Thank you.
Call from the floor. Call from the table.
I've got one thing. I've got an update for the internship position that we've talked about. I know it hasn't been mentioned lately, but the reason why is because we put it out there and what we might have done is actually we overextended ourselves in the description. So we re-altered the description and reposted it as of today, and already we have applications coming in as of today. So they're actually coming through, so.
It was, you posted it today?
No. It was posted a month ago. And we got one hit from that application, and that person did not work out. So we've reposted it with, what we're gonna do is draw down some of the terminology and actually some of the duties, and then repost it, kind of more of a watered down version, if you will, for some specific content stuff that we need to happen.
So you're gonna redo it? Okay, let me know when you do it, because I got someone that might be interested.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Got a couple comments?
Call from the table.
As usual, a couple comments. The church demolition, I'm happy that we finally got that done. Long time coming. Also, I just want to note that we do still have about a half dozen, if not more, other properties, which I know we've passed ordinances and hopefully have paved the way to get things, get the gears rolling on those. But I'm just hoping that forward-looking, we can maybe even with this same vendor, or if we have to bid it out again, but hopefully we can get like a group rate on some demolition of some other abandoned and dilapidated properties in the village. Also, just a note on the, I wish the treasurer was here. I would have asked her to expand on this, but I have requested that we have a meeting because I want to discuss this. We have a good chunk of change. I know you don't want to spend your rainy day fund. You never do, and I don't intend that. It would never be my suggestion that we really throw a large portion of it, but anything counts, and I think we should really take a look at paying down some of our water or sewer debt. The interest that, as I understand it, the interest that we're getting on our CDs and our bank accounts is like 1% or sub 1%, and the interest that we're paying on our water and sewer debt has got to be in like 3, 4, 5, I don't even know what it is, but I'm sure it's higher than that. And I think we're safe enough financially that we should consider throwing a bit of it toward the water and sewer debt, and then hopefully from that point forward, maybe we can lower some rates for the residents. Just
Unfortunately, that chunk of change is earmarked.
Well, general fund, I mean, we have them. It's not all earmarked.
Well, but most of it is, like say, from your Act 51 accounts and your...
I saw her account, and like I said, I requested a meeting with her. I want to go over it in more detail, but as I see it laid out in the treasurer's report, some of it is, even in taking away Act 51, some water sewer debt funds and whatnot, I still think that there's a good chunk of change that we could put toward it. I think it's worth a meeting, sit down with her, and that's what I recommended. So I just think in the future we should consider it, if possible.
Are you talking about getting on some of the principal?
Yeah, principal, yeah, definitely.
Call from the table. Thank you for reminding me that Vonda has taken on the responsibility of keeping minutes for the planning commission, who had no minute taker, and she is also going to take on the minutes for the ZBA. Just
That's what
FYI, these organizations, the minutes need to be kept, and they need to be kept properly. And we had nobody to take on these responsibilities. So, just so you know. Call from the table.
Just one announcement, but August the 6th, also in the morning, we're doing the community cancer walk, and we also need the sheriff to block off from 9 until 11, or 9 until 12. The pre-registration is 7, but the the street need to be blocked from 7 to 11.
So that's the week before the real summer run?
Yes.
That's the week before, right? But we'll be doing the music in the park that Friday night. We extended those to So that Friday night, we'll be doing music in the park and in the city.
Okay. Call from the table. Motion in order.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.